everyone, this is S. Pravalika, Assistant Professor, Department of AML, Aditya University. In the today's lecture, we are going to discuss regarding software lifecycle models and process. So let us start with the today's lecture. At the end of this lecture, student will be able to explain about the software lifecycle models and process. So firstly, software process. What does a software process represents? So let us see. The process that deals with the technical and management issues of the software development is called a software process. So that means a process which is dealing with the technical as well as the management issues of software development. So when developing a software which deals with the technical as well as the management aspects. The process that deals with the technical and management issues of the software development is called a software process. So that means the process which is involving in the software development and which deals with the technical as well as the management aspects is called a software process. So next point, the software process describes how to manage and organize a software development project while taking limits and restrictions into account. So what does the software process describes is, it describes how to manage and organize the software development project. So once we are dealing with the project, then it tells us how we need to manage the project as well as how we need to organize that particular project while taking the limits and restrictions into account. So every project we are dealing or else every project we are developing will be having some set of limits as well as the restrictions. While taking all these into consideration, it describes us how we can organize and we can also manage a particular software product. Next point, a software process is a collection of actions linked by ordering constraints with the goal of producing the intended output if the activities are completed correctly. So what does the software process mean by is, it is a collection of actions linked by ordering constraints with the goal of producing intended output. So goal of producing intended output in the sense, what does this point exactly mean by? So every product or else every project what we are describing or else what we want to develop is intended to perform one particular goal. So every work whatever we are doing will be having an end target. So even the software project also will be having an end target to be met. So which will be called as a goal. So what was this process does is, it is a collection of actions linked by ordering constraints. So linked by ordering constraints in the sense, so every project will be having some set of constraints to be met. So that particular constraints will be done in the form of actions and which are linked. So which are happening one after other or else which are happening phase by phase. So whatever the things we are performing or else whatever constraints that we need to met will be done in a form of a sequence. So and the final target is we need to get the end point of the goal. So that means we need to reach the goal. If the activities are completed correctly, so when are we going to achieve the goal? The goal will be only achieved when we are doing these activities correctly in an order. So the next point, the goal is to produce high quality software at reasonable cost. So the ultimate target of the software process is we need to get a high quality software at a reasonable cost. So that will be the final ultimate goal. Next process. So software process framework is a set of guidelines, concepts and best practices that describes high level process in software engineering. So a framework is nothing but a set of guidelines that describes the high level process which was existing in the software engineering. So every framework will be having some set of guidelines which navigates us to achieve the high level process in the particular project. So next one. So a software process is a set of activities and associated results that produce a software product. So what does the process will be mainly dealt with? So the process will be having some set of activities and as well as the associated results, and final intimated thing will be we need to get a software product. So to achieve a software product, we need to follow the set of activities as well as their associated rules and results. So next point, there are 4 fundamental process activities which are common to all software process. For every software process we are following will be having 4 fundamental activities, and those 4 fundamental activities are: first one, software specification; next one, software development; third one, software validation; fourth one, software evaluation. So specification, development, validation, and evaluation. So these four are the four fundamental process activities. So let us see in detail about them. So first one, software specification. The functionality of the software and constraints on its operation must be defined. So specification in the sense, we need to specify the things in a clear-cut way. So the functionality of software and constraints on its operation must be defined. So whatever functionality we just needed and whatever constraints we needed and what operations that we are going to perform. So everything should be defined in a clear-cut way. So the next one, software development. Software to meet the specification must be produced. So whatever specified things we just given, so we need to develop all those things. So the software to meet the specification must be produced. So we need to develop all the requirements what we have specified. Next one, software validation. So the software must be validated to ensure that it does what the customer wants. So what exactly do the customer needs? What was the requirement of the customer? What is he expecting from the particular product? So this will be done by doing the validation. So by doing the validation, we can ensure whether we have met the customer requirements or not. So the next one, software evaluation. So software must evolve to meet the changing customer needs, and different software processes organize these activities in different ways and are described at different levels of detail. So evaluation in the sense, the software must evolve to meet the changing customer needs. So to meet the changing customer needs in the sense, once we have developed something, definitely we will go with the customer feedback, and if customer is satisfied with the work, then we'll be proceeding for the next process. But if the customer is not at all satisfied with the work, if he demands any another inputs, or else if he demands any excess things to be involved into the project, then definitely we need to change the things according to the customer's needs, according to the customer's thoughts, according to the customer wishes. We need to do some modifications. So what happens here? The software must evolve to meet the changes. So that means the software needs to have the modifications required by the customer. So according to the customer needs and according to the customer requirements, we need to change the things in particular software so that we can achieve the target anytime. So different software process organize these activities in different ways and are described at the different levels of detail. So this is regarding the software process. Software process model. So software process life cycle model. So whatever the thing we can just describe. So software process model is a simplified representation of a software process provided from a certain viewpoint. So what is this process model deals with? So it is a simplified representation of software process. So the process what we are involving is simply represented as a software process model from a certain point of view. Activities that are part of software process, software products, and responsibilities of persons involved in the software engineering all can be included in the process models. So whatever work that we are doing and whatever things we are involving in particular software will be comes under the software process models. So the process can have products as well as the responsibilities of the persons involved in the software engineering. So all will be coming under the software process model. Next one, there are a number of different general models or paradigms of software development. So we are having many generalized models. So from some of them are, first one, waterfall approach. Next one, evolutionary development. Third one, formal transformation. Fourth one, system assembly from the reusable components. So these were the general paradigms that were existing. So let us see in detail about them. So the first one is waterfall approach. So what is a waterfall approach deals with is waterfall approach. So this takes the above activities and represents them as separate process phases such as requirement specification, software design, implementation, testing, and so on. So what is this waterfall approach deals is represents everything as a separate process phases. So whatever work we are doing, it will be represented in individual separate phases. So and it involves requirement specification, software design, implementation, testing, and so on. So we can see regarding these things in the later on classes. So the next one, evolutionary development. This approach interleaves the activities of specification, development, and validation. An initial system is rapidly developed from very abstract specifications. This is then refined with the customer input to produce a system which satisfies the customer's needs. So what does this evolutionary development deals with? This approach interleaves the activities of specification, development and validation. So what does this point mean by is? So it is going to interleave the activities of specification, development and validation. So an initial system will be just developed with a very abstract specifications. So with the minimum amount of information what we are having, we are just going to develop it first. Then after doing that basic specifications, then we will be going through the detail, specifying details as well as the development as well as the validation. So this is then refined with the customer inputs to produce the system which satisfies the customer needs. So according to the customer's perspectives, we are going to develop it. So we are going to have the customer's needs, we are going to have the customer inputs, we are going to have the customer requirements. So everything will be taken into consideration, and based on that we are going to have the next phase of development. So this is regarding evolutionary development, where we will be just starting with the basic scratch things what we are having, then we are involving the customer, and according to the customer's perspectives we are developing it. So initial system is rapidly developed from the very abstract specifications, then it is defined with the customer inputs. So this one is regarding evolutionary development. Next one, formal transformation. This approach is based on producing a formal mathematical system specification and transforming this specification using mathematical methods to a program. So in this formal transformation, what we are doing is, we are just going with the mathematical system specifications and we are transforming this according to the mathematical methods. So based on the mathematical methods, we are dealing with this formal transformation. So the next one, a system assembly from reusable components, and this technique assumes that parts of the system already exist. So the system development process focuses on integrating these parts rather than developing from scratch. So what happens in the system assembly from reusable components? What does this reusable components deal with? So reusable, the name itself indicates that we can reuse them. So what happens in this particular technique is, so whatever things regarding the system already existing, or else whatever requirements that do we have in our project, if that particular module is in existence, so what we are doing is, we will be just integrating those parts. We are just taking those parts into our project, we are integrating them and we are just working along with them. Rather than developing from scratch, we are reusing the things whatever existing. So this one is regarding the software process model. Waterfall approach, evolutionary development, formal transformation and system assembly from the reusable components. At the end of this lecture, the students will be able to demonstrate the software lifecycle models as well as the software process. Thank you.